Oh, nice.
The soothing sounds of James Witherite to open up North American Harness Update.
Nice.
There it is, the call to post. We're at it. Thank you, Mr.
Classy.
Witherite.
Hey, my pleasure, boys. Great to be here. Everybody in NAHU land, happy to be along for the ride. It's a
Bring in some
privilege.
class. Bring in some class to the NAHU.
It's
Pick
about time we got some class on this show. Holy crap.
The
Amen.
people that used to watch the show, Ray used to play his keyboard too, but it was nothing anywhere close to that.
Finger motions.
I mean, I think he played like 4 notes, and it just played the same 4 over and over and over.
Well, Mike, you know how many years I just played the same 4 notes over and over at the Meadowlands?
Oh, this is true, but you do it with style. That's the difference.
I don't know. Let's talk horse racing, eh?
Yeah, let's talk some horses.
That's why we're here.
We are here to talk horses, and we're going to talk about a couple different tracks tonight, starting at Meadowlands and Mohawk. Woodbine at Mohawk.
Woodbine
right.
Mohawk Park, I think, is the correct styling.
Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's Mohawk to me. And James Witherite is going to call races for us. How about that?
Bang bang.
We got the upper
let's
echelon.
See if I remember. Let's see if I remember how to do this, guys.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a long time. But we'll get the number down from the rafters tonight and have a little fun and hopefully get some winners and some value out to the NAHU faithful.
I think we're definitely going to do that because I'm definitely taking some prices in these pick 4 sequences that we're going to talk about. The late pick 4 at Woodbine Mohawk Park and the early pick 4 at the Meadowlands, which starts in race number 6. And I know we all have a pick for race number 6 at the Meadowlands. And before we start there, I got to introduce the other guy in the bottom left corner for me. It might be the bottom right corner for you. I think it's the bottom left for you. Ken Terpenning. What's going on?
What up? What's going on?
Well, you know, it's been a long few days, but we actually were next to each other last night at Scioto. I beat you.
You gotta remind me. I don't want to talk about what happened. I just want to say this for everybody out there, the NAHU faithful land. I wish Mr. Allums the best of luck prior to the race, and he told me I wish I could say the same for you. So,
and then he wanted to pay $57.
Yes, and then he whipped my poor mare's ass after she cut the mile in 55 and 4, 123 and 4, and said, "Screw you guys, I'm going home."
You know what? Queenie looked really good.
She did. She was excellent.
Yeah,
and
she looked awesome. Congrats.
Thank you.
Yep.
You know
Congrats,
what?
Rod, even though you're a sore winner.
I am a sore winner, and I'm a very, very sore loser. And, so you didn't get the wrath of that.
You're just sore. You need the vet to check you out, eh?
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I sent Ken a video this morning, and I told him last night that I was joking around when I said I wish I could say the same for you, but it was a play off of a Dave Chappelle skit where he was portraying Prince, and after he played Charlie Murphy in basketball, Charlie Murphy said "good game," and Prince replied, "I wish I could say the same for you."
Oh yeah,
So
I remember that.
that's where I got that from. Ken took
So
it
yeah,
personally.
and then Rod texts me and says, "Hey, did you bet my horse?" And I said, "No, I'm at work. You didn't, And he goes, "Oh," and I look and he pays 57. I'm like, "Oh my god."
Listen,
I asked him.
I
said, Rod,
told.
did you bet your horse? He said, I sure did.
You know what? I told whoever asked me on Sunday that she trained well, so it's your fault if you didn't bet. Because
I
I
wasn't
did.
allowed to. It would have been against the rules,
It would have.
Yeah.
Ken was not
Yeah,
allowed
you
to
can't
bet.
against your horse.
unfortunately.
But either way, we're rolling into the weekend. Some nice cards coming up. Got some potential stakes horses at the Meadowlands and Mohawk racing in these sequences tonight. James, I know you handicapped some of these races. What'd you think?
I indeed did. These races, especially at Woodbine, a lot of moving parts here, and I think a lot of options for value. And if we can dig in on this fifth race coming up, can the NAHU faithful see what they see at Woodbine, or do we need to give them the full audio rundown?
Oh, we got to give them the audio rundown. We're not allowed to do video.
Understood. Let's do it right now. 1 minute showing as the horses are coming out onto the track. Martini's Place 11-1 Louis Philippe Roy. Sex Appeal 9-5 favorite Trevor Henry. Mocking Beauty 37 Phil Houdon. Highland Salsa 38 Scott Young. Beach Sports 5-2 Jody Jameson. Need Your Opinion 5 James MacDonald. Preeminence 5 Sylvain Filion. Asena de Chakrika 44 Bob McClure. Got Power 50 Chris Christoforou. Odds on Vero Beach 6-1 Doug McNair from the second row post 10, and that is exactly where I'm going. I really liked the debut effort from last week after the forced layoff. Well, actually, no, it wasn't a forced layoff for Odds on Vero Beach because she was gearing up to begin her career at Sunshine Meadows in Florida through March. Had a qualifier on May 15th, shipped north to Toronto, won her career debut by open length, scooted clear at the top of the stretch, coasted home in 27-2. Here's what sells me on Odds on Vero Beach. Yeah, 5-1. I think that's a very, very fair price. Dougie McNair opts on this horse over Beach Sports, who finished a very strongly closing second at this level last week, rallied off cover, closed in 26-4, picked away from a Greg McNair trainee to drive this one for Tony Alanya. You're getting 5-1 right now, which I think is a really, really fair price. Sex Appeal, 9-5 favorite right now. Does look to repeat at this level. I thought she was going to go off a little bit short, and the way the markets are right now, I think 2-1 is kind of short.
Yeah, I agree.
Right now, but I don't think you can counter out, especially with the post relief, especially with this being her second start back.
Yeah,
I have a couple things to add there. Sorry,
go
Rod.
right ahead. Yeah,
go ahead, Mike.
Well, the thing about the 10 is if I'm not sure if you saw the race, but she kind of benefited in that race from a couple things happening. A couple horses broke before the start. The favorite in the race really never got going until late. That horse actually came back to win the race 2 tonight. I'm not sure if you were watching earlier, but that was Smiling Dialing. That horse came back out of that race to win. So, this horse kind of had it all her own way up front, and she raced well. There's nothing wrong with that race. I just, now I think this is a little bit tougher bunch.
Oh, absolutely. I don't disagree with that in the least. But here's the question that I have for you: is 5-1 representing 17% strike rate on Odds on Vero Beach more likelihood than 8-5 or 38% strike rate on Sex Appeal? Which one's going to get you the biggest ROI long term? That's the question I have for you. Are you willing to take the short price on Sex Appeal rather than Odds on Vero Beach, knowing what we do?
Well, I mean, I do hear you that I do think that the price on the 10 is a little high, but that does scare me a little more too, especially off that win. I would think that this horse should be bet a little more considering the connections and considering the easy win in the first start. Now, steps up into here and really, not getting as much action as I would expect into some of these horses. And now the price is starting to come down. I think you're going to end up with 3-1 there. And I would rather have 2.5-1 on the 2, just given the circumstances.
Well, with me, I'm going to actually throw in a horse you guys haven't talked about here.
Go ahead.
1 Martini's Place. Louis Waugh from the rail. This horse draws better tonight from post 9 last week. Left, tucked, and then just really never had a shot. Got stuck inside and was just kind of behind the flow, and they came a fast back half in that race. I think you're going to see another aggressive driving from the inside. Louis Waugh is going to be looking for that 2-hole trip, possibly even going for the lead, which I could easily see this horse getting the lead. She's shown some early gate speed in the past. I do think this horse is going to be there and is a decent price.
And she's got back class for days. Yeah, didn't show a whole lot in those Ontario Sire Stakes events last year. However, much easier company, was even, like you said, Rod, in that race on June 5th behind Sex Appeal, in fact. And if indeed Louis can get this filly a little bit closer, 12-1, 8%, what's not to like?
Let me sneak my pick in here, guys. Since
Go ahead, Ken. Sorry,
yours on the table, and James, you can help me since you're the linguistic expert here in our bunch. What is the name of the 8 horse?
The best I could come up with, and I actually tried to Google this one. The best I've got is Asena de Chakrika. I couldn't really find.
That's better than I would have done.
I really couldn't find anything on this one. We've got 40 seconds until post time. So if you don't mind, one last rundown of the odds before they take up their spots.
Get it.
Martini's Place 13, Sex Appeal the favorite, dropping to 7-5. Mocking Beauty 69-1, Highland Salsa 39, Beach Sports 4, Need Your Opinion 9-2, Preeminence 7, Asena de Chakrika 47, Got Power 53, Odds on Vero Beach. My selection here currently 5-1. As the pacing fillies and mares move into line. Remember now at Woodbine Mohawk Park, number 10 does start from the back row. Last chance to get your wagers in if you're tuning in via North American Harness Update this evening.
Get some of that 48-1 on Asena de Chakrika.
You get McClure 48-1.
Long shot Bob.
You know it, eh?
Coming in from Three Rivers.
I want the 1. Give me the 1.
Martini's Place 16-1, Sex Appeal, the 6-5 favorite as they pick up speed behind the Woodbine Mohawk Park starting gate. So 6-5 on Sex Appeal, 4-1 odds on Vero Beach from the back row, and then 9-2 on both Beach Sports and Need Your Opinion. Pacing fillies and mares arrive at the top of the stretch. This is race number 5 from Woodbine Mohawk Park, brought to you on North American Harness Update. Gate picks up speed. Got Power lagging a bit from post 9. Now the arms swing back. Away they go. Beach Sports is put right into play from the center of the track. Martini's Place. She's going to be close to the pace this evening. And Sex Appeal looks to split them, but Beach Sports gets the jump on her 9 foes, moving toward the clubhouse turn, and she clears by a length and a half. Sex Appeal is second. Martini's Place is third. Asena de Chakrika at those long odds was able to float up into the top 4, and she'll land 4.5 lengths off the lead, followed by Mocking Beauty. Odds on Vero Beach with the second row start landed in mid-division. She is 8 lengths off the lead, followed by Need Your Opinion, Highland Salsa. Preeminence is second last, and Got Powers at the tail of the field, 14 lengths behind the front-pacing Beach Sports after a 27-2 first quarter. Up the backstretch, it is Beach Sports leading a length and a half to Sex Appeal, who's got that cozy pocket ride, and Asena de Chakrika is taking her shot right now. Asena de Chakrika is up alongside and past Beach Sports at the half-mile pole. The hit races midpoint in 56-3. Martini's Place, while fourth, starts to gap a little bit. Odds on Vero Beach is gearing up. She's uncovered as they enter the far turn, and now 6.5 lengths off the lead, passing Mocking Beauty. Need Your Opinion picks up live flow, so too does Preeminence. Third over now, fourth over as Sex Appeal pops out from third. So Odds on Vero Beach has the coveted 1-1, and Asana de Chakrika looks vulnerable on the point as Sex Appeal takes her shot right now. So Beach Sports, who yielded at the half, has been locked in and joined wide, a joint third by Odds on Vero Beach. 3/4, 125 flat. Off the corner, Sex Appeal is driven clear by 3. Asana de Chakrika had absolutely no response. Beach Sports found a wedge up the inside at the furlong pole. Need Your Opinion rallies into third off the cover of a one-paced Odds on Vero Beach. Beach Sports rallies again to take over from Sex Appeal. These two to the line, and it is Beach Sports narrowly up the inside from Sex Appeal. 4 lengths third, Need Your Opinion in 152 4. Jody gets it done at 2.5 to 1 up the inside, rode the pocket, and struck while the iron was hot. It was Beach Sports at 5 to 2, just holding off a second rally from Sex Appeal, the 8 to 5 favorite in the 5th from Woodbine. Looking at it again here, Beach Sports won by a diminishing, very short neck over Sex Appeal, who was second. It was then a good 4 lengths back to finishing third, Need Your Opinion over Preeminence, who was fourth. And then fifth went to Highland Salsa Just from Odds on Vero Beach. Disappointing sixth. Mocking Beauty and Martini's Place followed them in. And then the last one's home, where Got Power, who was never heard from at any point in the mile, and the badly tailing off Asana de Chakrika.
Yeah, she looked pretty green there, kind of wiggling all over the racetrack.
That's what I was going to say, Rod. She needed power steering terribly. He could not hold her off the car, and then absolutely could not hold her in a hole, had no choice but to go, and basically just ran herself out, and then literally almost avoided a wreck there in down the lane.
Yeah.
I mean, when Sex Appeal came at her at the 3/16 pole, she just had absolutely no response, and you saw how erratic she was. For those of you watching the race, just no response whatsoever. Bore out a bit after being passed, and that's how Jody was able to find the lane.
But Beach Sports raced really well there. Made 2 moves to win. I thought raced big. Sex Appeal had no
drive, though.
Yeah, Sex Appeal had no
pylons to come up the inside.
No excuse for Sex Appeal. I don't think. Had a perfect
race good though. I mean, the horse raced well. Not good enough. That's all.
And then the McNair horse from post 10 just had much too much work to do after landing just worse than mid division, and then that long first overgrind. Yeah, Sex Appeal pulled with 5/16 to go, but she just had too much work to do in the middle half up to that point. And it bit her in the you know where whenever the money was on the line.
Let's go to Meadowlands, race 5.
Meadowlands, race 5.
You know, I haven't been back there.
Is that right?
Yeah. Let's look at what we've got though at the Meadowlands coming up here in the 5th. High 5 race.
You a big high 5 guy or no?
No, I'm not. I'm
not either.
Social distancing. We can't high 5. Remember?
No.
Physical distancing, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Although there are some people I wouldn't mind.
Here all night, by the way, for the comic relief.
So here we go in the 5th at Meadowlands. Dune Hill, Gingras 9 to 2. Sailor, Marone 44. Marvelous Trick, Smith 18. Beads, McCarthy 5. Arclight, Hanover, Sears 10. Olivia Deo, Buter 19. Chestnut Hill, David Miller 5 to 2. Second choice. Never Late Kate Bartlett 55. 50 Cent Piece, Matthias Melander 9 to 5 favorite. Toccoa Falls, Tetrick 22. This 5th race at the Meadowlands. Non-winners of 2 on the trot. Also eligible.
Who's got their audio on?
Not me.
Nobody.
Who was it?
So you, Rod.
No. I don't even have Meadowlands on.
It's not me. I know that.
All right, fine. It's me. Damn it.
Come on, Ken.
I accidentally turned it on and it was on.
No, I tell you what.
I'm going to throw my pick out there so this way you can get off my ass.
Do it.
I'm going with the 4 Beads. Was in the Breeders' Crown last October. Obviously, they had super high hopes. for this 3-year-old colt by Archangel, and Bede's a superb qualifier on June the 6th
No
by
doubt.
9 in 54-1 with Andy McCarthy.
One thing I'll tell you about her, he raced at Woodbine last year, and those first couple starts was just a stone cold runaway on the front, could never be controlled. So I mean, that was, if they fixed that, I think that would be a huge difference. But that qualifier says maybe they couldn't really control him there either. I mean, it's just, that's the way he wants to go. If he doesn't get the front, he runs.
Trainer change from John Bax to Per Engblom.
That's a pretty big trainer change.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's going to be a whole heck of a lot of competition on the front. And, you know, I'm pleasantly surprised by the price on Beads right now, 7-2.
Mm-hmm.
My top call is the favorite Chestnut Hill, who was third in the Valley Victory, the Kindergarten Classic, and the Breeders' Crown. The question here, how much are they going to mix it up in the first 5 furlongs? You've got Dune Hill, who can show speed. Beads, wire job in the qualifier. Arclight Hanover can show speed. The X factor, the way I see it, is there going to be a live enough flow for Chestnut Hill to be able to vault. And that qualifier on May 20th, or no, on May 30th, yeah, I know it looks flat, but in terms of class, and in terms of the fact that this horse does have the highest caliber of stakes success as any in the field, I think you've got to take that qualifier with a grain of salt. However, I will say this much: the 2-1 on Chestnut Hill does kind of scare me away a little bit first out, when the pace scenario is as unknown as it is. There are so many wild cards here.
Does a horse like this bother you because of you think maybe the intent might not exactly be here to win it? You know, like it's.
I don't think it's that. I don't know if the race sets up for this horse correctly. And while I do have him rated really well, I just, at 2-1, I don't know if this is a 2-1 horse, because of, is there going to be enough pressure on the front? Is there going to be a contested enough pace for long enough to enable this one to find a way into it? I don't know.
And that's kind of the way I looked at the race too. You know, there's legit stakes horses in this race who really are just getting a start in before the stakes races start, which would be
Hill, probably one of them, who had a pretty good qualifier at Gateway.
Yeah.
And the aforementioned Beads as well, who was just really, really sharp.
And then you've got horses that are just kind of New Jersey Steyr Stakes horses, like the 6, Olivia Deo, who I was on last week at 30-1. She just raced okay, but she was in a pretty tough race, and they came home well in that race. She followed the winner the whole way. She should have been a little bit better, but I'll give her the excuse against some tough horses there that were all ready to go last week. last week. And now you're getting some horses outside of Beads, who is really the only speed in this race. This horse might go, and if she does, I think she's got a chance to be able to best some of these at a decent price.
Well, how about the money the 9's taking? I mean, that's very interesting.
Well, it's Melander. I mean, all his horses always take money.
I'm not surprised at that. However, again, first start since November. Only real success was in overnights, and she was only that's all she was really tested at. So it's really a wild card too, and one of those. Are you willing to take 3.5-1 on her? I don't.
Right.
At this stage of the game, I don't know. Can she win the race? Absolutely. Am I willing to say she's got a 22% chance of winning the race? That I don't know.
I'm kind of against the horse. You know, he put Matthias up to drive. Post 9, that just tells me right there that they're not planning on leaving with this horse tonight. They're going to duck, race home, and let things happen in front of them. And hopefully the race falls apart and they just picked the pieces up. But I think they got bigger fish to fry with this horse.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a few in here like that. That's the thing. So I would be more interested in a horse like the 6 because you're getting 30 to 1. And we know about the trouble.
I think she's better than 30 to 1, especially if she does get
Right.
a closer flow, and she may be able to even get a little bit of a jump on Chestnut Hill.
And she's already got a start under her belt this year, so that's another big factor that you have to look at. And 30 to 1 it's just plain and simple. It's too big of a price.
Definitely one to consider in the exotics. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
Moving into line now for the 5th at the Meadowlands. This the Super High 5. Dune Hill, Gingras 9-2. Sailor, Marone 42. Marvelous Trick, Smith 33. Beads, McCarthy, favored 2-1 jointly. Arclight Hanover, Sears 9. Olivia Deo, Buter 31. Chestnut Hill, David Miller, favored jointly 2-1. Never Late Kate Bartlett 83, 50-cent piece. Melander 9-2. Toccoa Falls with Tim Tetrick 22-1. From the outside, post 10. This is the 5th race from the Meadowlands. Hey, I get to call a race from the Meadowlands. How about that, guys? Hey, dreams do come true after all, don't they? Furlong out. It's high 5 time. Oh, Sailor broke right before the start, too. Sailor is off stride. Reset, but lost 6 lengths at the start. The rest on their journey. 50-cent piece is put into play by Matthias Melander from the far outside. Olivia Deo floats forward. So does Chestnut Hill. And they're joined up the inside by Dune Hill. Beads will tuck in right behind this front flight. McCarthy's got Beads 3.5 lengths off the lead, and now up at a 4th as Chestnut Hill failed to find a seat. Marvelous Tricks closed off the 5th spot as they make their way around the clubhouse turn. 28-2 for the opening quarter mile, and 50-cent piece had to work to get the lead, but 50-cent piece was able to clear Dune Hill. 1 3/4 to Olivia Deo in 3rd, and now Gingras gives Dune Hill the green light. With 5/8 to go, Dune Hill's back in front, and Beads is given his cue as well. He marches up on the outside, so lots of movement here. Up the backstretch at the Meadowlands, Dune Hill tackled by Beads on the outside, now a half length away, and 50-cent piece drafts along closely from 3rd. They've managed to get 3.5 length separation over Olivia Deo in 4th. 2.5 away, Marvelous Tricks in 5th, followed then by Chestnut Hill. And then it's a break of 2.5 farther back to Arclight Hanover, moving wide. Never Late Kate's got 14 to make up. Toccoa Falls is yet to be heard from with 3 furlongs remaining, and Sailor after the miscue is it attached last. 57-2 for the half mile. 5/16 to go. Beads led a length and a half to Dune Hill. 50-cent piece is close and clear from 3rd. 2.5 better than Olivia Deo, who's starting to tighten in a little bit despite the pace picking up on the far turn. Chestnut Hill has quite a mountain to climb. 8 lengths behind Beads, past 3/4 and 125-2. The flow wasn't there, the pace wasn't there, and Beads opens up by 3 at the furlong pole. Dune Hill's driven to give chase in 2nd, albeit isolated. Chestnut Hill's lifting up the inside. Oh no, Beads broke stride, and Dune Hill's going to inherit the lead. Dune Hill goes on to win by 2 on the line. Tight for 2nd, I think 50-cent piece just from Chestnut Hill, and Beads finished out of the top 3 after breaking at the 16th pole. Had it all his own way, but just imploded in the shadow of the line. Dune Hill gets it in 153-3.
Yikes.
As predicted.
Big yikes.
That's Beads.
Big yikes.
How good is the horse, though, if he stays flat?
Oh, man.
I know, right?
Oh, my God.
Fast. He's very fast. There's no question about that.
That horse has a wicked turn of foot. I mean, that move he made down the backside, I mean, he was rolling.
Yep.
And
he's very
halfway
fast.
down the lane, he just kind of lost it and took off on a gallop.
I'll tell you what happened there, boys. On my end was the video decided to refresh on the clubhouse turn.
You got through it pretty good, though.
Yeah. That's the professionalism that is James Witherite, right?
I get an eye on the line for that one, I think.
Just for that reason, you should get to call a race at the Meadowlands.
Yeah.
Right.
Hell, Ray's called like quite a few.
I'll call a Stanley Cup winning team before that happens. You can mark my words.
Oh, Beads.
And I don't know why that horse broke. I mean, he was just out by himself. They weren't getting to him.
He got funky up front and just snapped.
Odd. But guess what? We got a pick 4 coming up.
We going Meadowlands pick 4 next?
Meadowlands pick 4 is next.
Let's go.
And it starts in race number 6. It's the early pick 4.
Right.
$50,000 guaranteed pool.
Wow.
50-cent minimum bet. This is their largest guarantee on the card.
So Beads was second past the post, apparently. Obviously, Stewart's Inquiry in that 5th race at the Meadowlands. I think that one's going to come down.
Yeah, he'll be placed 4th.
I figure 2nd to 4th is the right call. That's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, he'll be placed 4th there. But race number 6, Mike, why don't you start us off on this pick 4?
Was that the cha-ching sound?
Yeah,
it was.
Who is that? Is that you again, Ken?
Yes, it was.
Ken, why do you keep making odd noises?
Hey, you're talking about big money on the line here, so I give you a cash register. God, jeez. You think that my sound effects would be okay? Ray's not here. I'm trying to help your damn show out.
I gotta get the soundboard back out again.
I thought that was like your phone going off, like you were getting texts or something. I didn't realize it was part of the deal.
Look, if I'm going to take all this grief in place of Ray, I need to get a raise. And I'm not talking about a six-inch ladder either.
We'll give you 10 times what we get, and
right.
will you be good with that?
You get $1.
Sometimes nothing is nothing. Hey, that's what Rob pays me to help out with my horses. So it works right in with my repertoire, as they say.
Anyways, back to Meadowlands race number 6. This is a filly and mare. Now winners of 7,500 last 5 starts.
Are we looking at Meadowlands or Woodbine because they're coming out?
Meadowlands. We're going into the pick 4 here.
You guys talk about the pick 4, and then when Woodbine's closing in on post time because they're coming out right now.
Yep, just stop us.
We'll jump ship there. Okay.
This is non-winners of 7,500 fillies and mares on the pace, and a full field of 10 here. Mike, start us off.
I thought it's a tough race. A lot of horses that haven't raced yet. I was looking towards the outside, starting with the 6, Charlotte Royal. This horse is coming in from New Zealand, decent qualifier, kicked 26-4. You get Dexter Dunn to drive. The horse has won 5 times in its life, and a lot of times these horses, come here and tend to excel on these tracks. I think this horse gets a perfect level, and Dunn driving really tells you all you need to know. So use that one. The 7, My Ruby Star, another one coming from down under, qualified okay. Kicked 28-1 there, and Stratton was on for the qualifier, is on here. Another one I just really can't leave out. 7 wins last year. I'll be using that one. The 8, JB Shooting Star, horse that races well at this level, was even money for this level on March the 6th and finished 2nd. The qualifiers are a little iffy, but did kick 26 in that one against Warwick Butte, and Tall Drink Hanover. None of those sort of types in there. So this one I imagine will be shooting towards the front. And then the 10, Bronze Over, was racing okay at Yonkers, at numbers of 10,000. Qualifier was decent from the 8 hole, kicked 27-4. You get T-Trick here. I'm looking at the connections and think, any trip could equal a win. So 6, 7, 8, 10.
I'm not nearly as deep as you are. I take a single here. The 7, My Ruby Star. This horse made 40,000 New Zealand last year. She's got a ton of talent. She's wicked fast. Was facing some tough company down in Australia, not New Zealand, sorry. And I do believe this horse is ready. Shane Tritton has been up here in the States for quite some time now, so I expect this horse to be fully ready. And that was actually a really, really good qualifier at Goshen, so watch for this horse to put in a big, big mile tonight. That's my single in the sequence, the 7, My Ruby Star. Ken?
I am going to jump aboard the horse with the 150-3 mark this year, and that would be JB Shooting Star, coming off that qualifier, closing quarter in 26 seconds flat. Jim Marone Jr. back in the bike tonight, and I look for this one to be flying home late.
You took one horse in there?
That's it. I'm single in the 8.
Nice. we're all pretty similar there. But leg number 2 is race number 7. Now winners is 7,500 on the trot. And I'll start this one off with the 1 Fashion Creditor. Tom Fanning, Dave Miller, great combo there. Horse made over 100,000 last year, 7-time winner last year, 32-time winner lifetime. You get the inside. I think you're going to see a little bit of speed from this horse here, enough to be able to get away up close and stay in contention. The 2 Southwind Frost for Andy and Julie Miller adds Lasix, makes a ton of sense here after 2 decent qualifiers. And those qualifiers were not on, or they were on Lasix over at Gateway Farm. So maybe this horse steps up a little bit and shows a decent effort, likes the Meadowlands. So I expect another good effort here from the inside. The 6 hashtag Made You Look. Tim Tetrick jumps on this horse after 2 qualifiers. Makes sense. I mean, he's going to take money. Needs to be used, I think. And then the 7 Con Air Hall, Scotty D, George Brennan. The drivers on the 6 and 7 kind of confused me a little bit there, but Georgie may have taken the 7, I'm not sure, but he is driving over the 6, so I think that automatically makes this horse a play after a pretty good qualifier against tough company over at Gateway. So I'm 1, 2, 6, 7 there. Ken?
I am actually going pretty deep since I singled the first leg. I am focusing in on 7 horses actually in here because I think the race is pretty wide open, especially being a trot, and there's a lot of horses that are moving into a condition class here that, obviously optional claimer as well, but they just seem like some of these horses are outclassed. So this could be an interesting price race, but I'm focused on the 1 Fashion Creditor with David Miller, the 2 Southwind Frost, Andy Miller, the 3 the Big Muscle, Dexter Dunn, and the 5 Therapeutic, Joe Bongiorno, the 6 hashtag Made You Look, Tim Tetrick, the 7 Con Air Hall, Georgie Brennan, and the 9 Winning American, Jason Bartlett in the bike.
And Mike finishes off there.
I have 5, so it's a little less than 7. I agree on the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 6. The one horse that I have that nobody else has is the 4 No Excuses, and that's Ford for Mark McDonald for Ford. Was racing numbers of 15,000 at Yonkers with some bad posts, and this horse won 7 times
30 seconds
last
at Woodbine,
year.
guys.
So use that one also. So I was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6.
Coming now to post time for the 6th race at Woodbine. Rod, Ken, and Mike will continue their Meadowlands pick 4 analysis following this 6th race from Woodbine. Temagami Sealster 8, Trip Ace Hanover 31, Dress to the 9 73, Jamar's Lady Havoc 50, Queso Relleno favored 7-5, Keystone Kalimba 8, Off the Press 6, Saskatoon 7-2, back in the game 47, Bet a Lady 6-1 from the second row as they move into line for the 6th race at Woodbine Mohawk Park. My top call, Queso Relleno, roughed it first over on debut, stayed on for second at this level. Doug McNair stays on. Off the Press, worth looking at too, at 6-1 coming out of the same race. Stock from the back row, lifted belatedly for third. Sylvan's going to need to be able to work out a trip. Temagami Sealster wasn't a menace in that race. Did pass tired foes after a mild backfield shuffle. Pole can serve to land her closer to the action. Right now, 11-1 after hitting the board in 7 of 13 as a 2-year-old. This is the 6th race from Woodbine Mohawk Park. At a start. And away they go. Keystone Kalimba's asked for early speed, so too is Trip Ace Hanover. Saskatoon's put into play from the far outside, and Queso Relleno, the favorite now 4-5, is up close today. And she moves up into third as they head to the clubhouse turn. Saskatoon's taking it to Keystone Kalimba. They dueled through a 12-4 opening furlong. Keystone Kalimba shuts the door on Saskatoon, and Trip Ace Hanover is going to yield willingly to the 3-hole Queso Relleno. Settled in the 4th spot, 4.5 lengths off a rapid 26-3 first quarter, and then comes Dressed to the Nines, who's pacing in the 5th position, 6 lengths off the pace. Temagami Sealster's another 2.5 back in 6th, followed by Off the Press and Bet a Lady. Shamar's Lady Havoc is second last as they head up the Woodbine backstretch and back in the game is last of all 14 lengths off Keystone Kalimba. Now that outer flow starts to form as Queso Relleno is tipped off the pegs from fourth with a half mile to go, and Keystone Kalimba slammed on the brakes through a 56 1/2 mile. It was a 29 3 second quarter, but Keystone Kalimba's going to have to pick it up with 3/8 to go. Saskatoon's been locked in by Queso Relleno, who gets her red blinkers just in front for second. Dressed to the nines and Louis Philippois at 87 1, tracking live cover, but gap slightly now, 3 from the lead. She's staying even though as they come to the quarter pole. Trip Ace Hanover's regressing, so Dressed to the nines has room to duck to the inside. That leaves Temagami Sealster out uncovered, but she's improved to within 5 lengths of the leaders. 3/4 and 124 and 3/16 to go. Keystone Kalimba's called upon for her best. Queso Relleno's pouring it on, and now hooking 3 wide. Saskatoon was able to shake free. Off the press, improves now into fourth, still 5 lengths from the lead as they come to the final 16th. Keystone Kalimba lunging for the line. Saskatoon coming after her. Saskatoon best of all. Saskatoon wins over Keystone Kalimba, and Queso Relleno came up short at odds on off the press. Rallied belatedly for a minor share as well in 152 4. Full recap coming momentarily. It was Saskatoon and James MacDonald connecting for Carmen Occhiello to take the 6th at Woodbine Mohawk Park. Last jump, and she got there.
She was loaded the whole way.
Shook 3 wide. Yep, Saskatoon got there. Looked like Queso Relleno just second from Keystone Kalimba. Off the press was fourth, 2 lengths away back in the game. Then Betta Lady, followed by Temagami Sealster, who was just flat after losing cover. And then came Robert Shepard up the inside with Shamar's Lady Havoc over the fading Dressed to the Nines, and Trip Ace Hanover just looked awful with 3/8 to go and faded to finish detached last.
Saskatoon would have been my top choice in there.
Really?
Well, coming off that same race,
she raced great. She was roughed up early by Keystone Kalimba in that sub-13 opening furlong, was forced to take a 2-hole, got boxed, hooked 3 wide. That was no ordinary pocket trip, and this is why we watch replays, guys.
Yeah,
she went a mighty mile. Did not look like a standard issue pocket trip, and here she gets carried out to the 5 path by Queso Relleno and still wins.
See, I like that Asina di Chacrica in the previous race, and that was the same line, the same race that Saskatoon came out of and won. And I watched that race, and it was a monstrous race for both horses, I thought, and that's why I picked the horse in the previous race, and I would have gone back to Saskatoon here.
I don't know. I thought that she got a perfect trip in that race, and now at 7 1, and then McNair just went to the 5. So that what kind of turned me off. But she was much better than. I mean, the 5 had every chance to win. Just was not any good, really.
Well, we got 2 legs left at the Meadowlands. We got to get that done real quick before they start
They're
to pick
coming onto
four.
the track for the 6th right now.
All right.
You've got, I'd say, 5-6 minutes.
So we're going to run through these last 2 legs real quick, and then we're going to talk about the late pick 4 at Mohawk quickly. And so this 3rd leg, I am 5 deep, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10. My top pick, and this is the Meadowlands, by the way, which is race 8 in this sequence. My top pick in this race is the 4 All-American, who comes off a big qualifier for Linda Toscano and Scotty Z. Makes sense here. Gingras obviously took the Burke horse like he's supposed to, but I do like All-American. I think it's a good spot for this horse. But very, very wide open race if you ask me. I'm 4, 5, 6, 8, 10. Mike, what do you got there?
Just too deep, the 4 and 6. I agree on the 4. I think, that was a really nice qualifier. I like that 27 3 kick, and this horse raced okay back here in March and probably has some improving to do. Lely raced only 3 races last year, and 3 this year so far. The 6, I think, is pretty obvious. I mean, this horse was climbing the ladder for Burke, ran into Obligado in February. Wasn't really beating that one, but was still favored over that one. I think this horse has turned the corner and is going to take a lot of beating in the race. That was 4-6.
And Ken?
I am actually with you on the 4, 5, 6, 8, and 10, but I threw the 1 on the ticket just for good measure. A little bit of price. Paul Fusco trainee, previously trained by Vincent Fusco, the late Vincent Fusco. Zlatan, actually being paddocked by our wonderful friend on Facebook, Stephanie Carlson, this evening. So a good combination there. Let's see if we can get some sentimental victory there for Zlatan from the rail at 15-1 morning line.
And leg number 4 to close out the sequences, the Preferred Trot. Another full field here. I'm 5 deep again to close it out. 2, 4, 6, 7, and 9. This race could easily be a chalk race with the 7, but I spread out hoping that the same result happens as last week. Southwind Chrome won a big heat there. Just couldn't get there against an extremely tough Manchego. So, you got to keep that one in the books. You're not getting that price, but 2, 4, 6, 7, 9 for me to close it out. Ken, what do you got?
I went 4 deep in here, and I'm taking some shots. 1, 2, 4, and 8. Homicide Hunter, JL Cruz, the veteran, and threw on tight lines for a little bit of value there with Jeff Gregory and Mike.
Nice. And Mike?
I'm a little chalky. I have the 6 and 7. Both were in the Manchego race last week. Both had outside posts. Both raced really well. And, with the benefit of that start, I don't really think that they're going to go 51 in this race. So I would expect those two to be real close. Both made a ton of money last year. And I like them 6-7.
So my ticket goes like this: 7 with 1, 2, 6, 7 with 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 with 2, 4, 6, 7, 9. It's $50 for 50 cents. Mike, your ticket.
6, 7, 8, 10 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 with 4, 6 with 6, 7. It's $40.
And Ken.
My ticket is an 8 with 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9 with 1, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 with 1, 2, 4, 8, 84 buckaroos.
All right, we got the Meadowlands done. Next is Mohawk. Mr. Witherite.
Rod, let's go through this Meadowlands 6 and let James do his thing, and then we'll do Mohawk. Let's not split.
Are you going to have enough time?
Yeah, we'll be okay. Because Mohawk pick 4 doesn't start till the 8th. So that's
they've got 11 tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, you're in excellent shape then. We were talking about this 6th race. You had touched on it. My Ruby Star really liked the qualifier at Goshen with Jordan Stratton. Shane Tritton had the privilege of getting to write about his migration to the States, along with his wife Lauren, who is a heck of a driver, actually.
Yeah,
it's worth noting. And they brought a dozen head with them from down under, right in the middle of COVID-19 ramping up. And
it was a good read, by the way.
Thank you very much. It was a lot of fun to put that one together, actually, and it's been fun to flex the writing muscles and get to tell some of the stories in the game about the people, about the horses, and if there's been for me a bright point during the last 3 months with hockey season shutting down abruptly, and now for me the return to the races being on Tuesday, and the time between, it's really been enjoyable for me to get to tell the stories of the participants, how horses are training back after their stakes campaigns from last year, and it's that for me has been a lot of fun.
And one thing, it was kind of funny when I was reading the article. One thing that I noticed was the story that you kind of put together was it was actually like it was like you actually talked to Shane, because I have actually talked to him, and it was the same type of feel that you gave in that story, which I really liked.
Well, it's really a unique story, one they're gonna remember forever. It was a matter for them of, okay, here we go. Do we commit? Do we put on the brakes? No, we were planning on doing this, and here they are. Now we get to see if it comes to fruition.
Yeah, and the funny thing was, back in, I want to say it was November.
Yeah.
They were still iffy. Like, they weren't even sure they weren't 100% sure what they were going to do. So it was kind of cool. And I can't remember exactly when they came over. They came over like right before COVID, or was it during COVID?
It was right as it was starting to ramp up. It was like middle March.
Yeah, so that's ballsy.
Looking at this race here, 40 seconds on the countdown clock. One you might want to look at too if you're looking for a price. American Empress 9-2, not a big price, but enough of one. Had a nice tightener at Magical Acres on June 1st. Rode the pocket. Chase no match second, 54-3 on the 5/8 mile track there. What I like about her is she shows enough staying power to earn minor checks at a level, 2 levels tougher than this as recently as March. So 4-1 right now, I think, on her is a very, very fair price. Quick rundown of the odds here in race 6 at the Meadowlands. American Empress, David Miller, 4. Be Best, Mark MacDonald, 21. Vintage Babe, Siegelman, 28. Piraeus, Marcus Miller, 46. Enchanted Ava, Callahan, 20. Charlotte Royal, Dexter Dunn, 7-2. Second choice, My Ruby Star. The import with Jordan Stratton, 2-1. JB's Shooting Star, Marone, 9-2. Darker Shade of Pale, Andy McCarthy, 26. Bronze Over, and Tim Tetrick from the outside post, 10. 5-1. This is race number 6 at the Meadowlands. Last call for the $50,000 guaranteed pick 4. Did I get that right, Rod?
Yes, sir.
40,000.
No, it's 50.
It is 50. It is 50. Mm-hmm. Okay.
50.
And Charlotte Royals lagging the gate as they move to within 1/8 of a mile of the start point. Full field of 10 fillies and mares. Now taking up their positions, Charlotte Royals moving in closer. Looks like it's going to be a pretty good start, save Darker Shade of Pale. Now she's up into line, gates swing back, and away they go. A beautiful start. Darker Shade of Pale left along with JB's Shooting Star, My Ruby Star, Charlotte Royal, and Enchanted Ava. Up the inside comes American Empress, so they barrel 6 across the track into the clubhouse turn, and American Empress uses the pole position to maintain the early lead, but JB's Shooting Stars on the attack on the outside. Enchanted Ava closed off the pocket. 2.5 away. Charlotte Royal improves into 4th, wide of Be Best, who lagged the pace early on. She's 6.5 lengths off a 27-second opening quarter, and overtaken on the outside by My Ruby Star, who's now got the 1-1. Charlotte Royal's out and moving with 5.5 furlongs to go, and she'll take aim at JB's Shooting Star up the backstretch. Darker Shade of Pale slides 1 out, 2 back in this extremely live flow, and JB's Shooting Star is going to yield to Charlotte Royal. So My Ruby Star is left to face the breeze in this eventful second quarter. Darker Shade of Pale towed up 1-1. Now 2 lengths off joint leaders at the half mile. American Empress has been shuffled back into mid-division, joined wide by Bronze Over as they head out the back straight. Enchanted Ava is getting a terrible shuffle. Now a joint 7th with Piraeus out wide. There's 6 off. New leader My Ruby Star. Be Best and Vintage Babe are at the tail, and My Ruby Star took over 54-3 for the half mile. 5/16 to go. My Ruby Stars holding Darker Shade of Pale, a length and a quarter at bay. Charlotte Royal continues on in the pocket, albeit loosely. Bronze Over is gearing up 3 wide as her cover starts to stagnate at the quarter pole. She's got 3.5 to come. Looking for room, Enchanted Ava, American Empress just going evenly as her cover starts to stall. 3/4, 122-3 down to the 8th pole. My Ruby Star shakes away by 3. Charlotte Royal driven to give chase. JB's Shooting Star finds a lane. Now American Empress is absolutely flying down the outside. Is going to try to chase down JB's Shooting Star for second, but there's no catching My Ruby Star. 1 up by 2, 2.5 over JB's Shooting Star, just second in from American Empress down the outer, overcoming stalled cover. She circled up 4 wide to just miss that second spot by a neck in 150-3, but My Ruby Star absolutely sparkled in her United States debut.
She was huge.
Told you.
Huge. Oh, my. I really didn't even ask him down the stretch.
No.
He just sat there.
Could have gone another 4 or 5 lengths.
Yeah.
I was parked almost the whole damn half.
Jordan Stratton, hands back, didn't ask for anything. JB's Shooting Star second a neck from American Empress, 1 away 4th Charlotte Royal, and then after those came Enchanted Ava and Be Best. They were followed in by Bronze Over, Darker Shade of Pale. Of course, I can't give you this rundown as they're passing the line right now, since I'm calling from a monitor rather than binoculars. You know how hard that is to get used to, calling off a monitor?
You know how hard it is to call a race? I've tried.
Yeah,
So I give you props. James, I give you props. I give Ray props. Anybody that can call a race, it is freaking hard.
Yeah, you guys are good at it.
It's hard. I'll say this. It's hard to do well.
I'll give a gratitude of thanks to James because he helped me quite a bit when I first started out. So.
Well, it's Ken. It was absolutely a pleasure to do so, and you know, it's like anything else. It's storytelling, and something that I hope in my 11 years as a race caller that I hope I was able to contribute was tell the story. Verbs advance the plot. Adjectives and adverbs add color to the story. Put them all together, and you've got a good, compelling description of the race that someone can truly not be able to see the race. Pardon me. And
I love that. That's
still
what I
be
like.
able to, what is it? And still be able to
experience it.
Exactly. And for me, that comes from being a radio guy.
I just want to know who put the head number on the 7 horse as he's going back to the winner's circle. It's not on very well.
Well, it wasn't me.
Bad head. There's nothing worse.
Hey, real quick in that race, I mean, I do give props. Rod, you singled that horse. That was a really nice pick.
Absolutely.
You know, so cash.
I love that horse, and then American Empress. I touched on her earlier too, and she came flying late to be a very good third. She gets
she was good.
Better trip. I mean, she missed second by that much. If she gets better cover, if her cover doesn't stop at the 3/16 pole, boom.
Well, JB Shooting Star got screwed too because Marone Jr. had to grab a huge hold on that horse when he let those 2 horses go by, and literally got shuffled pretty far back. I mean, to the top of the stretch when he can find some clearance down the inside, and by then my Ruby Star was gone. But
I don't think anybody was beating the winner though.
No, my Ruby Star was just too good, and 680 gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolute gift.
By the way, I believe that is Shane Tritton's first win
in North America.
So congrats to him, friend of the show.
Absolutely great family. And Anthony, I will be back as the racing analyst and chart caller this year at Harrah's Philadelphia, and looking forward to being back starting on June 21st, I believe.
So Chester starts back June 21st.
the-players-guide.com as we move the daily tip sheet online.
We should put a link to that on our website, maybe.
Yes.
We'll work on that.
For sure. We'll make that happen.
Yes, we will.
Yes.
But we've got what do we got? Just a couple minutes for race 7 at Mohawk. Mr. Witherite.
I'll let you guys get to it. It was fun hanging out tonight and talking horses and shooting the breeze and.
Absolutely.
Yeah, great show.
You're
welcome back anytime.
We'll have to do it again. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Anytime you want to come on, you know my number.
Give us a call to the post before you leave.
Yeah.
Bang, bang.
Love it. Bang, bang. That's right.
See you guys.
See you, James.
James Witherite. The extraordinaire. He does everything. He plays the organ. He plays jazz piano. He calls races.
I love how he calls a race too. He's really good.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And he's very different than a lot of, he's something.
And over everything else, great guy.
Oh yeah.
I love that guy like a brother. But race 7's coming up at Mohawk. We're not going to talk about race 7. We're going to talk about race 8 in the pick 4.
Do you guys want a race call for race 7?
Yeah, we do. We do.
Kind of in the mix here.
I need a little practice. It's been I don't know, since like last August since I've called the race.
Yeah. So we're gonna get Ken a race call here. Everybody's calling races except me and Mike because we suck at it.
I've never tried. I've never really had
Yeah, you don't want to try
ambition.
live.
No.
I've tried that. It doesn't go over well.
You
But
got 3-2 on Major League and 6-5 on Shower Play.
who you taking?
I had Major League on top.
Mike has Major League on top. 7-5.
Shower Play hasn't won in quite a while. She's probably better than these, but she just, I'm not sure the kind of trip she's going to get here. So we'll see. And this Major League's a pretty nice horse.
Is this a $50 straight exacta you're telling me?
I mean, I think it's probably these two. For sure.
So you're not that confident.
I'm not.
20 seconds to post for race
I was
7.
2-3-5-8 in my Maltese, so I'm not really that confident.
Ken, who you taking here?
I am going to focus my attention on Richard Moreau and Cracklin' Rosie with Louis Philippe Roy.
Ooh.
Little price here. I know Major League actually, obviously is the pick here, but you got to go with the price. They are headed to the gate for race 7 at Woodbine Mohawk Park. From the rail out, Balfast N, James McDonald, Major League, Ed Hensley, Catch an Ace, Bradley Harris, Cracklin' Rosie, Louis Philippe Roy, Shower Play, Scott Young, Sunday Afternoon, Doug McNair, Sporty Tory, Bob McClure, Clear Idea, Jody Jameson, and Skater Chick with Sylvain Filion. Field of 9, 4-5 favorite, Major League from Post 2 with Ed Hensley. They are at the post. And they are off and pacing from the far outside. We have Clear Idea trying early. Down along the inside is the favorite, Major League, and splitting those two is Cracklin' Rosie. Major League grabs command, and taking the 2-hole trip now is Cracklin' Rosie. We come back to third, Catch an Ace. Then we come back to fourth is Clear Idea with Jody Jameson. Racing in fifth is Shower Play with Scott Young. Then we come back to sixth is Balfast. Seventh is Sunday Afternoon. Then we come back to Sporty Tony, and Skater Chick trails the field. They got by the quarter-mile station in 26-3, and Major League is on the engine by 2. Back in second is Cracklin' Rosie. Back in third is Catch an Ace. In fourth, unchanged, is Clear Idea. And we come back to Shower Play, Balfast, Sunday Afternoon, Sporty Tory, and Skater Chick. Can see them all as they motor down the backstretch. They pass that half-mile station in a snappy 55-1, and Major League, the even money favorite, showing Calais, little bit on a line there as they go down and around that turn. And up on the outside, making a move now, is Shower Play. So Major League will be challenged by Shower Play. Back in third is Cracklin' Rosie. Then we come back to Catch an Ace, Balfast, Clear Idea. On the outside, Sunday Afternoon. Then we come back to Sporty Tory and Skater Chick. The 3/4-mile station is up in 123-1, and the heads are turned for home. Major League fighting on with Shower Play on the outside, and Shower Play looking to get the best of the favorite here. Shower Play on the outside. Major League fighting back along the inside. Major League hanging tough. Shower Play, one final surge at the wire. Oh, Major League hanging on. Shower Play back was second, 1:50-4 the time of that mile, and I believe I caught a fast charging Skater Chick for third.
At 80-1.
Did the 2 hold on?
Yes.
I believe
Clearly.
so, by
Clearly.
just a nostril.
Yes, clearly.
Well, Mike, I asked you if
I know, $50 exacta. Did you play?
Yeah, $50 exacta, 2.5.
No, that's what
Major League took it by a nose. Second was Shower Play. Third was the 9, Skater Chick, flying from the back of the pack. Fourth was Cracklin' Rosie. And then we come back to fifth was Clear Idea, Catch an Ace, Sunday Afternoon, Sporty Tory, and rounding out the field was Belfast.
Well, the try was the play in the race.
Actually, Skater Chick's, she's improving pretty quickly. She's okay.
She didn't shake loose until the 16th pole. She was absolutely flying there.
Yeah.
And that was a fast mile, 150 and 4.
All right, let's get to working on this pick 4 here.
All right, let's do it. Pick 4, late pick 4 at Woodbine Mohawk Park. Starts in race number 8. They got 11 tonight. Unusual. Oh, by the way, before I forget about it, Meadowlands Race 7 are just coming onto the track. Starting next week, the Meadowlands will be racing 18 races each night.
It's a lot.
It's a ridiculous amount. So we're going
And
to
they're starting at
split.
6 o'clock.
We're going to split up our analysis on the website because 18 races, 2 nights, that's just too much. But anyways, race number 8 at Woodbine Mohawk Park. We are getting to it. Late pick 4, 20-cent minimum. There's not a guarantee on it, but it's still going to reach 40 grand probably.
They usually average about that.
Yeah. This is a starter allowance race on the trot. Here you got a full field of 10, the 10 trails. Mike, start us off. This is your track.
Okay, so in this first race, I kind of thought I liked AJ Destiny quite a bit, but I feel like if it's not him, then it's anybody. So I ended up, for pick 4 purposes, I did use all to start. I do like AJ Destiny in the race, though. Was doing, 1-2 in a row prior to the shutdown. Was claimed by Goddard, and Henry is now on. This horse has some speed. Is better than a lot of these. I think that this horse is going to be out early and tough to catch. If he doesn't leave early, then it could be anything. And, horses that I don't trust are Sombre, who was terrible last week off the bench. P.L. Molly usually needs a start and is not getting Lasix. Alpha Silster, I think, has some speed and could have a chance in the race. You got 12-1 morning line there. So, I could see the 1, the 2, after the 8, all for pick 4 purposes, but my top pick is the 8.
I'm 5 deep here. I'm going 2, 6, 7, 8, 10. I kind of went on the same page. The 8 I wasn't keen on, but I can see the horse. The horse obviously is a player, week in, week out, must use. But the 2 Alpha Sealster, I think the layoff did this horse some good. He had some issues before and loves the big track. I think he's going to be very sharp in this race coming off of that layoff. You're going to see a fast horse that's not going to break. Hopefully, he's going to be the price that I play here. So 2, 6, 7, 8, 10 for me. Ken?
I am going with 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, and 10. Through the 1 on the ticket. That is Talbot Creek Susie for Patrick Shepard and Doug McNair. I don't know why. I just find this horse intriguing. Coming in from Pocono off the layoff. Used to race at Miami Valley, so I guess the Peyton Odie local connection kind of hit home for me when I looked at this race. But obviously the other horses you mentioned there, I'm not going to beat a dead horse, pun intended. So 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 10.
Leg number 2 is the Filly Mare Preferred Pace. Some monsters in here. The likes of Kendall Sealster, Boadicea, so much more. There's so many more names that we can name here, but I'm going to leave it at that. I'm too deep. The 5 Boadicea, coming off a massive win last week in 150 flat off the layoff. Was in the Breeders' Crown Elimination Super Final winner last year as a 3-year-old. Made 400,000 plus. Must use after watching her last week and watching her just absolutely destroy that field. Going to be tough again, but a horse that was motoring even quicker than her, the 7 so much more, came from way off the pace, had no reason to finish second, and was just absolutely flying. Last half last week, 52 and 4. I mean, you can't ask for much more from a 4-year-old mare. This one makes a ton of sense. Going to pass 100,000 on the year already. So 5-7 for me. Mike?
Agree on the 5-7. I mean, if you look back at the 7, this horse was racing against the boys in the preferred and winning in the wintertime there. And, she is extremely talented, has a massive kick. The 5 came back quite well and very speedy early. If she can control the race, she's a use. I'm going to use Kendall Seelster also, though. She's, made over $1 million, came back very well last week. I wasn't quite sure how she would do. She got the front and went straight down the road and crushed, kicked 26-4. She's got just as much class as the rest of these girls here, and she has an inside draw, so she's probably going to be in the pocket here, and she shakes loose, she can beat him. So 2-5-7.
Ken, how about you?
Very similar. 2, 4, 5, 7, 8 for me, and I'm just keeping an eye on the Meadowlands here. They're pretty close to going to start here, so I'll keep you guys up to date on that.
All right, my leg number 3. I'm short in this leg too. Filly Mare numbers is 16,000 the last 5. I'm pretty chalky here. The 2 Sweet Lucy Lou is very obvious with Jody jumping on the drive this week. Kicked home 26-2 in the non-winners of 25,000 last week. Gets a class drop here. Should be right there at the wire. And then the 4 Swift Alley, second start back off the layoff. This is one she's really kind of turned a corner. Loves to win, making her second start of the year. Expect a big effort from her. So 2-4 for me. Ken, where are you at?
I'm going with 2, 4, 7, and 9. And actually, I agree with you. I do like Sweet Lucy Lou, obviously the favorite, Jody Jamieson in the bike for Meg Crone, batting .408 on the year, so not too shabby of a training percentage there. Swift Ally, Doug McNair for Greg McNair. Horse has been first or second in basically 5 of his last 6, including his qualifier, her qualifier, excuse me. And then we're also going with So Long Darling, Rachel Andrew, Travis Cullen connections have been pretty hot. And Wind Sun Glory, Bill Budd. You can't ever leave Bill Budd off a ticket.
Agreed. Mike, what do you got? Anything different?
No, 2-4 for me. The 2 really had no chance last time from Impossible Spot. Kendall was gone before she kicked, and she went 26-2 from nowhere and made up a lot of lengths. And then Swift Ally, if you look who she raced against last week, Major League won tonight, Roll with Sparky won tonight. They went 50-4 in that race, and she was right there at the wire. Big chance, I think, 2-4.
Yeah, no surprises there for any of us, really. The final leg I thought was a little more wide open. This is a Filly Mare starter allowance, 12,000 or less on the pace. Mike, finish your ticket.
3 deep. The 3 Lively Rocket has won 7 out of 8 this year so far. Was racing at Fraser, won 9 races last year. You get McClure, an inside post for 25% barn, a must use. The 6 Hammer and Haley was, racing well at this level, back in February and March, showing speed. Now gets Lasix after a Georgian Downs race on, just 5 days ago. So that one's a use. And then ER Ronda won that race. And, she loves it here, but tends to drift to the outside fence. 13 wins last year. McNair driving, using again, 3-6-7.
Mike, or Ken, who do you got to finish?
We are finishing out with just 2. We're going with 7 and 8. Pretty chalky end to my pick 4 sequence. ER Ronda, Doug McNair for Patrick Shepard coming back from Georgian Downs. Nice debut there, winning in 57-4. And then Miss Rockadally coming in off the claim, stepping into the Jared Bako barn. He's also batting nice percentage at .344. So be an interesting angle there for start off the claim from Richard Moreau to Jared Bako.
I didn't use either one of them. I'm 5 deep, though. The one, I never know how to say a horse's name, so I'm not gonna. The 3, Lively Rocket, loves to win. The 5, Jan's Legacy, should be firing and could end up in the pocket here. The 6, Hammering Haley, adds Lasix tonight. Osceola Barn has been red hot. And the 9, Largen Legacy. Big horse, I think, is going to like the big track and adding Lasix. So that's my ticket. How much time do we have? A little bit of time here. So to recap my ticket at Mohawk, I am 2, 6, 7, 8, 10 with 5, 7 with 2, 4 with 1, 3, 5, 6, 9. It's $20 for 20 cents. Ken, your ticket.
1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 10 with 2, 4, 5, 7, 8 with 2, 4, 7, 9 with 7, 8. And my ticket is $48.
And Mike.
I'm all with 257, with 24, with 367s, 36 for 20 cents.
Race number 7 at the Meadowlands is coming up. Ken, you going to call it?
I'm having some printer trouble, so I'm going to go off my screen here. So you're going to have to listen to this terrible race call because I have no program.
That's all right. When Ken's done, go to NAHUPicks.com. We're going off the air. Thanks again. NAHUPicks.com, all the analysis you could ever want.
Thanks to James, too.
Thank you, James Witherite. Thanks to everybody playing the contest. We'll post those results shortly. Race 7, Meadowlands. Bang, bang.
Field is in the hands of the starter, and they approach the start. And they're off. And on the outside, Winning American tries for the lead. Inside of that one is Conair Hall. Hashtag Made You Look. These three will vie for early command as they motor around the turn and head towards the backstretch. And hashtag Made You Look takes over. Down along the inside is Fashion Creditor. Up on the outside, it looks like we have the 7-horse is Conair Hall. Again, forgive me, I have no program here, but Conair Hall has the lead. Hashtag Made You Look is back to second. Up on the outside is Winning American from post 9 making a move. And they got to the quarter time in 27-3. And Conair Hall has them by a half a length to Winning American, who is 22-1 on the outside with Jason Bartlett. Back in third is hashtag Made You Look. Back in fourth is the rail Fashion Creditor. As they approach the half-mile station in Conair Hall, Georgie Brennan shows the way, and they got to the half in 55-3, second quarter in 28 seconds. And Conair Hall has them now by 3 parts of a length, looking to put away Winning American, who's starting to fade on the outside. Back along the inside is hashtag Made You Look. Say that 5 times fast. Back in fourth is Fashion Creditor, 3 wide on the outside. We have the 2-horse that is Southwind Frost. Slipping off the rail is Fashion Creditor. Pulling the pocket was hashtag Made You Look. The 3/4 was up in 124-1. And hashtag Made You Look. Tim Tetrick looking to storm on by Conair Hall up front. And hashtag Made You Look takes over. Back in second is Conair Hall. Moving into second now on the outside is Fashion Creditor. And moving up is the Big Muscle. As they motor on down the lane and approach the finish, and hashtag Made You Look. Tim Tetrick under wraps. Hashtag Made You Look. Got him by 2. Fashion Creditor was second. The Big Muscle. Dexter Dunn up for third. Time of that mile, 1:52-3. Hashtag Made You Look. Richard Johnson.